Hey guys, how the hell are ya? Time for another all-new iFAQ video. Thank you so much for tuning in. We've got a lot to go over today. I'm not going to create a long drawn-out intro because there's a couple things I want to talk to you about. Firstly, as you can see behind me, we are streaming this process live right now on twitch.tv/ArnoldPlaysGuitar. Something I've mentioned in a few other videos, I'm going to keep mentioning it here because ever since I've been without employment, without proper employment, I guess, in addition to looking for a new career path and applying at jobs and interviewing, I've been streaming honestly pretty much every single day. The music production, the video editing, all sorts of cool stuff, checking out the new gear that's been coming in. So if you want to see like firsthand how we actually do this whole process here, the behind the scenes workings, but if you also want to get the first look at the gear that we are reviewing on this channel, the Twitch stream is where you need to do it. Twitch.tv/ArnoldPlaysGuitar. Please give me a follow, give me a sub. Every little bit helps. The second thing I wanted to talk to you about really quick is, guys, I have an idea for the next iFAQ video. This could completely blow up in my face. This could completely be a failure. But I want to give it a shot just so that we can try something a little different. What I would like is I would like a theme to the next iFAQ video. So I'm going to ask you guys in the comment section below, please submit questions that you may or may not have pertaining to the YouTube channel itself. Maybe how I run my YouTube, maybe how I do a few things behind the scenes, that's fine. Maybe like what are my thoughts on the process of video editing or stuff like that. What are my thoughts on the current state of YouTube, whatever. Throw me some YouTube related questions and YouTube channel related questions. A little bit less about the gear. We'll get back to the normal questions on the next iFAQ video probably, but I just have an idea. Let's do a themed one. So hit me with those questions below. And now, without much more delay, the first question. Hey Arnold, question. Does your studio space have soundproofing like panels or foam? Love your riffs, dude. By the way, that amp sounds so good, I'm drooling over here. Dude, how do you think I feel? I own it. It sounds fucking legit. Dude, it's funny. I've given a lot of thought to getting soundproofing materials for this room, but every single time that I give thought to acoustically treating it, I just never really follow through with it. I never make that purchase. I never hit any company up to see what I can get. There's even been a few times where I've thought, hey, what if I get like an acoustic panel that's an art piece and just have my logo on it? Like before I got this Vader cab that's got my logo on it, that's what I was seriously considering doing. Putting like an art piece of acoustic foam up there that has my logo on it, big and bold and in your face, so that way that would show through as like a backdrop for a lot of these videos. But just never done it. And I'll be honest with you, man, the type of stuff that I do, and I kind of feel like a lot more attitude and aggression goes into the material, not so much fine-tuning. So if that makes any sense. Like I feel like the end result from the recordings and the mixes and the masters kind of reflects that too. I kind of feel like what I do comes through on those end recordings, the end results, a little bit more organically than if I was to sit here in a perfectly awesome acoustically treated studio environment. So I know that sounds like I'm just kind of bullshitting my way into say, you know what, I'm just lazy and I don't want to put up the stuff, but you know, whatever. If it's something that I've got to knee-jerk myself into as saying like, hey, this is how I justify it, then fuck it, that's what I'm doing. But I kind of really like the end result that I'm getting for the YouTube and all the streaming services and the Bandcamp and whatever else. So I don't really feel the need to put up any sort of acoustic treatment, to be honest. Nice review, just it sounds like you're doing a commercial or paid programming show the way you talk, LOL. My friend, I am so happy that you feel that way. It speaks volumes that you compliment me for my eloquence and for the fact that I use proper enunciation and alliteration and that I speak slowly and clearly and I try to get my point across in the most intelligent of fashion, even though I just said, So, for you to compliment me on such a professional and refined delivery of my lines, which by the way are not lines, I'm just coming up with this shit on the top of my head, I very much appreciate that, sir. So for those of you out there, if you know of anyone that is looking for voiceover actors, someone who can speak as eloquently and professionally as I am right now, please tell them to hit me up because I am very, very much open for those opportunities. Have you tried the Line 6 Shuriken? For tuning options, it's like the Swiss Army knife of guitars, lol. That might be so, but at the same time, it's like the pip farting on a snare drum of guitar tones. Jesus Christ, the one time that I've actually played a Line 6 Shuriken, I was holding the thing going like, okay, it's built nice. You know, you can obviously tell it's made in the same place where like the solars and the washburns are built, that it's built really solid with some nice appointments for the money. And if it was just like a $700 instrument with an EMG or a Fishman in it, it would be fucking legit. But because of all the weird, goofy stuff that's inside it, it sounds like fucking raw ass. And for that reason, I fucking hate it. It sounds terrible. Just awful. And yeah, it might suit a certain purpose with being able to get all these different tunings, but if you're sacrificing the tone, who gives a shit? Buy more guitars. I watch most of the streams at work when I miss them. Thank you for leaving them up, by the way. And I was wondering what your thoughts are on the lyric writing process. I've wanted to put lyrics to my songs and try to do vocals, but I can never really get lyrics, melodies that sound good or I'm happy with. Dude, Brett, I'll be honest with you, man, I am in the same fucking boat. Like, I've got so much stuff here that is left unfinished. As far as like writing lyrics, writing vocal melodies, that is my number one hang up that is keeping me from getting a lot of this shit done. Like, in some instances, I get that spark of creativity where I can crank out the Voided EP, or I can crank out the Nihilistic single that I just put out. But most of the time, I'm like second-guessing everything that I type. I'm second-guessing the vocal patterns and how they're gonna fit in the music, and it just doesn't come together. I would absolutely love it if I can figure out the secret and figure out what I'm doing wrong. But Jesus, dude, I don't really have any tips or tricks that I can give you because I suffer from the same shit. Hey Arnold, what is your favorite TS style overdrive? So for something that is more like cleaner and more pristine and transparent, but still Tubescreamer-ish, I really, really like the Highwind Direwolf. It's probably my favorite overdrive box that I currently own. It's very versatile. It does have a bunch of switches on here, and I know a few of you guys are thinking like, oh, well, that's too complicated. Not really, just find a setting or two that you really like. But, I mean, I really, really dig this thing. I feel like it does a great job of boosting most amps that I put in front of, and it doesn't really have a lot of tonal coloration unless you really manipulate this shit down here. I think that it's a damn fine unit, in my honest opinion. Besides that, I love, for something with a lot more low-end coloration, I love the Maxon OD808X, the red box one, the extreme one. That to me is a fantastic Tubescreamer style overdrive that has a lot of extra oomph to it. And I used to have one, I sold it because it had an electronic issue and I just couldn't be bothered to take care of it. One fine day, I will get my hands on another one and start experimenting with which amps I'm putting it in front of, because goddamn, that was a fantastic overdrive and I need to have another one of those in my life. I cannot turn my hand all the way over because of an old injury, a plate and 6 screws in my left forearm. Could a fan fret help me start playing again? No one near me has one to try. So I'll be honest, dude, I'm not the best person to ask on that. I would think, being that, like, okay, this is kind of a normal playing position, when you go to the lower frets, you're actually extending that out even further. So I would think that would actually hurt you even more and exacerbate that old injury. So I would probably not recommend it so much. I think it would behoove you to talk to a physician about that to see if it's something that could be done. And if you do still feel so inclined to find someone locally that has one, hit up the local music discussion chats. The local radio station usually has a forum you can go on to, for better or for worse. See if anyone has a Fanfret guitar that you can at least check out. And when you do check it out, for God's sakes, go slow. And it's just like when you're turning a screw or fixing something. If you encounter resistance, fucking stop. Because I would absolutely hate for you to exacerbate an old injury by trying to make this work for you. Besides that, good luck, man. And I understand that you're trying to get reacclimated to your favorite creative outlet. I really, really hope you're able to at some point, and if not, I hope you're able to find another outlet to also still keep making music without tweaking your left arm. If there was a failed guitar brand you could bring back, what would it be? Parker, for me. You know, something interesting about Parker is I've heard a lot in recent years on a lot of Facebook groups and forums that high-end US-built Parkers were the shit. Maybe I've just never had a good enough experience, like actually grabbing one and playing it or something. I don't know. Like, I would love to actually get my hands on one of the, what was it, the Fly Supreme or the Fly Custom? I would love to actually check one out and see how awesome these things actually were. As far as like a failed guitar brand, oh God. That's a tough call. I think if anything, maybe I would love to find one of those obscure late 80s, early 90s shred brands that kind of went nowhere and try to like come up with some new models for them, or maybe like tweak the designs a little bit for the modern player. Like, man, what about Hartfield? Hartfield would be pretty cool. I know that was a joint venture between Fender and the Fujigen factory, but man, I would love to see a modern take on the Fender Talon, the Hartfield Talon. I think that would be absolutely kick-ass. Could it compete with the Ibanez stuff that's out there? I think especially if you have it made at the Fujigen factory, I think it could fucking destroy it. What I would be curious though is I would be curious to see if someone can come up with some awesome, modern, more metal shapes to go along with the brand as well. So the reason why I'm going with Hartfield is because I used to have a Hartfield Talon that was a fucking incredible instrument. It sounded immense. It was an incredible instrument for tracking too. It recorded solos so well. But I sold it because at the time I had some issues with knowing how to like fix certain parts and how to do certain things regarding a setup, and it wasn't translating to when I would work on that instrument, so I ended up selling it, and I do kind of regret that because it was just a beautiful sounding piece and I wish I still had it. I just ordered a Hoppus Judge 627. How do you feel with the anxiety of waiting for a custom guitar? Oh shit. It's tough, dude. Like, I honestly would just say play the shit out of all the guitars you've already got and try to find something about each of them that you love, love, love and can't live without. And sometimes it helps you put that instrument out of your mind. For instance, right now, I have a Maslow 9-string that is being ordered. And it's the kind of thing where until someone asks me a question in Twitch chat or something or on YouTube, you know, I sometimes don't remember that I have an instrument on order because I'm jumping around playing so much stuff here and trying to keep myself so busy that it takes my mind off of it a little bit. That's not to say that I'm not eagerly anticipating the guitar, but that is to say that I think that's how I figured out how to deal with it. So, that being said, hey Frank, if you're seeing this, I can't wait to get my hands on it, and I'm gonna play some brutal groovy shit when I get it. Hey dude, I noticed you haven't done a My Personal Guitars video in a while. Are there more videos to come? Keep up the good work, by the way. Your channel kicks ass. Dude, Jesse, thank you so much. You know I love you, bro. There are more My Personal Guitars to come up. It's just, Every time I feel like I'm gonna sit down and actually work on one, that's when I get the call, hey, can we send you something to review? Or hey, you know, can I bring something over for you to review? Something like that. Or hey, let's set up a Twitch stream so that you can actually stay busy while you're doing this. So sometimes it just kind of slips through the cracks. It's not exactly the most popular segment either, but at the same time, I do love doing them because I love going over my personal instruments. I will tell you that my next one is for sure going to be on my Reverb/AC Guitars Compact S7 that I recently got from Alan in Scotland. That is an incredible instrument, and I need to do a legit video on it. And that is going to be coming up as shortly as I possibly can. After that, I've got a ton of stuff I can do videos on. I've got the Washburn WV-40 that my wife gifted me when we got married. I've got my Fujifilm Squire Strat I can do. I've got the Ormsby SX. Let's see. I've got the Hoppus. I know you guys want a Hoppus, my personal guitars episode. Let's see. I've also got a Tajima K2, which is the Kiko Loureiro signature model. Granted, he's not with that company anymore, but I still have the guitar, and one day I'm going to get that set up so that is perfect. Also, I've got a parts caster up here. So yeah, I've got stuff. Oh, fuck, how can I forget? I've got my Solar up here. Dude, I need to do a video on that. So yeah, I've got shit to do those My Personal Guitar videos on. I just need to actually steal myself away and motivate my ass to do it. And now, it's time for this week's... And this week's Troll of the Week, well, he seemed to have an opinion and just decided to let it fall out of his mouth like a turd falling into a punch bowl. Frederick Watkins writes, nice guitar, but I'm sorry, his caps lock is on. Nice guitar, but music is nothing but a fucking racket! You know, here's the thing, dude, like, ultimately, it's what I want to do with the instrument. No one is pointing a gun to your head and forcing you to watch me. Just like no one is pointing a gun to your head and forcing you to be a prick and leave this comment. So, dude, move on to somebody else. You know, if you don't want to listen to somebody playing metal, don't listen to somebody playing metal. Play fucking blues or something. Put on Jimmy Page. Put on fucking Jimi Hendrix. Whatever your heart desires. I can recommend Jeff Healey if you've never heard him. But dude, for fuck's sake, let me play what I want to play because it makes me happy. And if it makes you sad or angry that I'm playing something that makes me happy, that's totally your fucking fault. So anyways, thank you guys so very much for tuning in. Remember, for next week, I would love a themed video, so ask me those YouTube-related questions in the comment section below. Like this video, subscribe to this channel. There's tons more metal, guitar-oriented content to come. And remember, guys, take what you do seriously, but do not take yourself too seriously.